guys, welcome to another video. This video today is going to be a new one in the songwriting series, and this is to do with the creating music for your songs rather than just creating lyrics. So before I talked a bit more about just tips and the theoretical side, here I'm going to go into the practical side on how you can start writing your own chord progressions. So this video is for beginners, anyone who is just starting guitar or is just starting to write songs, either or. This video is going to be helpful for you. If you've already been playing for a while, you might already know this stuff, so you can skip this video. And firstly, what am I talking about today? The key of C. And why am I talking about this? Basically, if you're writing songs or if you're playing guitar, but especially if you're writing songs, you want to get familiar with all the keys. And the key of C is probably the easiest to learn because it has no sharps and flats, and it's also the best to get started with if you're writing pop or rock music or any kind of popular type music, because there are heaps of songs that use the key of C that sound good, and you can create your own chord progressions, but there are common chord progressions that are used within pop and rock music in this key, because simply why they use over and over again, because they sound good. And like I said in some of my other videos on songwriting, if you've watched any, is that it doesn't matter if there's like 1,000 songs with the same chord progression. If every artist uses that chord progression but creates their own song from it, it's going to sound different. Like, the underlying music will have a similar harmonic, melodic effect maybe, but you can write different melodies for it, you can write different lyrics, you can use different rhythms, you can have a totally different drum beat, production, style, everything, and all of that will create a totally different song. Like, you can have an EDM song in like this chord progression, for example, and so if if you want to do that, you could, but basically, for that reason, it's going to be original. So it doesn't matter if you use a really common chord progression. However, you can experiment and use things that are unorthodox as well, and there are certain rules within music, but you can break them. There's no there's no, as long as it sounds good, it doesn't sound like really dissonant, unless that's what you're going for. People are gonna like it. If it's good, people are gonna like it. So experiment a little, but start with the basics. So that's why we're starting here. So basically, I'm just gonna go through the key, all the chords in the key, and show you them on guitar. So key of C, first chord is C. So if you know this chord already, that's what it sounds like. And we've got the top finger on C, and on the B string we've got our finger on C, and then we've got on the D string we've got our finger on E. So that's the first chord. The second chord is a minor chord, so D minor. Less commonly used in the key, but sounds great. This is one of my favorite chords. I don't know why, it just has that sound to it. So we've got our fingers on the bottom 3 strings here. Got it on the F, on the E string, then we've got it on the D, on the B string, and then we've got it on the A, on the G string. Then we've got E minor, so another minor chord. Sad feeling. So this chord is really easy if you're starting guitar. This was my favorite chord to learn. I kind of like sad music at the time, but also just because it was so easy. And we've got our fingers on the E and on the B here. Then we go to major. So we've got F. So this is the only bar chord in the key. So if you're just starting guitar, you may struggle with F. I know a lot of people do. I used to. My tip for beginners with getting used to any bar chords is Obviously, start with open chords first. Open chords are all the chords that don't use a bar chord. They aren't bar chords. Not all of them, but majority of them. And get familiar with those, and then start using bar chords. You can do F without a bar chord. I actually find it easier to do a bar chord, but you can do it like this. So you've got you've got your finger on 2 strings here, then you've got it up one and then up one again. So you can do that. I just left F until I felt comfortable doing bar chords, but whatever you feel is easy. Honestly, what I found was just that by continuous practice every day, consistent practice playing chords, my fingers just slowly adapted. It's just strange how it does that. Eventually, you just get used to it. And I only have short fingers. Like, I'm only a small person. So, if I can do it, I think anybody can. And, yeah, so we've got F. So we've got a bar. And then we've got our fingers on these 3 strings here. And then we've got another major chord, G. So we've got our fingers on the G string, finger on the B string, and fingers on the D and the G at the bottom. So that's a happy chord. Then we go back to minor on our 6th chord. So we go to A minor. If you like minor chords, I also like this one. So we've got our fingers on these 3 strings on the C, on the A, and on the E. And for our last chord, we go back to an octave. So an octave is 8 notes, and the first note will always be the same as the last note, but it'll be up 1 octave. So we go back to C. But if you're playing on notes, it'll be up an octave. So instead of, if you're just playing notes, because in the C chord we've got 2 C's, so that's the lower end of the octave, and then we've got the C, the higher end of the octave. But if you're playing chords, C is C. There are other C's on the fretboard, but here I'm making it super easy just for beginners, so we can start writing songs. So let's just stick with C. And a common chord progression known in pop music is the C, you can go F, so that's the 4th, the 5th, G, and back to the C. So it's a really happy chord progression. You can also do one that I like is A minor, F, C, and G. That one's a little sad, but happy-ish, not sad-ish. Anyway, they're just a couple that are commonly known, but you can create anything you like with these chords. You can create, if you wanted to make it sad, you could create minor. So start with D minor. You could go to A minor. So we're going all the way from the 2nd to the 6th chord here. I've got a song that uses this chord progression, that's why I'm saying it. And then you could go back to the G in the 5th. So that's not, it's a bit sad, but it resolves, And yeah, these are just a few, this is just some chords you can get started. So you might want to write them down to get started with, or watch the video again if you need to. And stay tuned for more videos like this. I'm going to do another video soon on the scale, the C major scale. So this will be also related to this. So stay tuned for that if you found this useful. Comment below if you got any requests for any videos. And if you'd like to, give it a like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys next time.